Hi, today I'm going to show you how to make the sweet spring bracelet. This delicate multi-strand bracelet is the perfect finishing touch to your spring look. Let's take a look at the products and tools we'll need to make it. For this project, we will be using Galvanized Duracoat round Japanese seed beads in light pewter, seafoam, and eggplant. I have two 17mm gray embroidery thread tassels. I have a 12mm lobster claw clasp. I have some 5mm 20 gauge open jump rings, and then I've got some 6mm 20 gauge closed jump rings. I've got 2x2 crimp beads and 3x5 crimp bead covers, and I'm stringing it all up on fine soft flex. For my tools, I'm using chain nose pliers, wire cutters, I have crimping pliers, and then I have some stainless steel bead stoppers to help me terminate my ends here before I go ahead and attach it to my jump rings. So let's get started. Okay, so to begin, I went ahead and cut 3 pieces that are each 10 inches long of the fine soft flex. So I'm just going to set 2 of those aside, and using just one piece of the soft flex, I'm going to pick up a crimp bead and the 6mm 20 gauge closed jump ring, and I'm going to go through the jump ring and come back through your crimp bead. And then I'm going to bring that down close to the jump ring there. And then taking your crimping pliers and using the back notch first, you crimp 1 time, and then you turn, you flip it to the front notch, and you crimp 2 more times. So I'm going to go ahead and crimp 1 time in the back notch, turn and flip it to the front, and do it 2 more times. I always give it a tug to make sure it's secure. So it is. Taking your wire cutters, you want to cut off just the tail as close to the crimp bead as possible. And while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and add my crimp bead cover. You can also just add these at the end if you like. So I'm just going to use the front notch, slide it over the crimp bead, and then gently close it. And it's a real nice finished look there. Looks like a little 3mm metal bead. So to begin my pattern, I'm just going to show you the bracelet I already made. The pattern starts with 15 of the light pewter, then it's a kind of a fade in to the seafoam, then it's 14 of the seafoam, and then it's kind of a fade into the eggplant, and then it's 32 of the eggplant, and then it's just the reverse order on the other side. So to get started, I'm going to go ahead and start stringing up the pewter beads, and I need 15 of these guys. So then to do the fade in part, I'm going to grab 2 of the seafoam, then I'm going to go back and grab 3 of the pewter, and then I'm going to grab 1 seafoam, 1 pewter, 1 seafoam, and 1 pewter. So then it makes a nice transition into the next color, and then I'm going to do 14 of the seafoam. Okay, so I got 14 there. And now I'm going to transition into the eggplant. So to do that, I'm just following the same pattern here. I'm going to grab 2 eggplant, and then I'm going to grab 3 of the seafoam. And then I'm going to grab 1 eggplant, one seafoam, one eggplant, and 1 seafoam. And then I do the big middle section, which is going to be 32 of the eggplant. And this is a great project to use up extra little seed beads that you might have laying around too. Got 16 on there. All right, got 32. And then on this other side, I just reverse this fade on the pattern. So I'm going to pick up one seafoam, one eggplant, one seafoam, and one eggplant. Kind of transition back into the seafoam. And then I'm going to pick up 3 seafoam, 2 eggplant, and then I do the section of 14 of the seafoam. Okay, so I've got 14 of those, and then I fade into the pewter. So to do that, you just pick up one pewter, one seafoam, one pewter, and one seafoam. And then you go ahead and you grab 3 pewter and 2 seafoam. And then at this point, you just go ahead and do the end section, which is just 15 of the pewter. All right, so I've got it completely strung up. So now I'm ready to attach this end to the other closed jump ring that I have. So again, in the same fashion as I did the first side, I'm going to pick up a crimp bead, pick up the second closed 6mm jump ring, go back through your crimp bead, pull it down. So you want to make sure it's like snug but not super tight, that it doesn't have any flexibility. And then same fashion as we did the first one, using the back notch first, crimp 1 time, and then turn and flip it to the front notch and crimp it 2 more times. And then just give it a little tug. Go ahead and cut your tail with your wire cutters as close to the crimp bead as possible. And I'm going to go ahead and just add a crimp cover to that guy since I'm here. So I've got 1 strand done. I'm going to go ahead and do my other 2 strands, and I'm going to attach them in the same fashion as I attached this strand, and then we'll be right back. Okay, as you can see, I went ahead and I attached my other 2 strands that I strung up in the same pattern to my closed jump rings. So at this point, I'm ready to add my little tassel embellishments and my lobster clasp for my closure. So to do that, I'm just going to grab one of the 5mm open jump rings, and I'm going to go ahead and open the jump ring by pulling one side towards me and one side away from me. And I'm just going to attach it without putting anything on it, just to one end of the bracelet. And I'm going to go ahead and close the jump ring. And this is going to be used for our lobster claw clasp to attach onto. So then on the other end, I'm going to open up a second jump ring, same fashion, pulling one side towards me and one side away, and I'm going to thread on my lobster claw clasp, and then I'm going to just go through the closed jump ring and then go ahead and close the jump ring there. And now, so I've got the basics of the bracelet done. Now I'm ready just to add my tassels here. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up and add 1 tassel. Whoops. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my tassel to the 6mm closed jump ring, and I'm going to close that guy. So I've got 1 tassel on there, and then I'm going to open another jump ring, and in the same fashion, I'm going to string on my tassel, and then I'm going to attach this tassel to the jump ring that has the other tassel on there. So it's a little bit of a cascade effect over there. And when you're putting any kind of embellishments like charms or tassels or anything like that, you always want to make sure it's on the lobster side or the ring side of your clasp, because if it's not, it can be kind of hard to attach if you have it in the way when you're trying to like put on your bracelet. So now I can just go ahead and attach it to the other side here. And there you have our really cute little sweet spring bracelet. You can find the products and tools for this inspiration design at fusionbeads.com.